there, Bare Knuckle News fans. Susan Cingari here, backstage at BKFC 67 with the big winner, VanCamp. What a performance. Can you break down the fight for us, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I came into his hometown. I knew it was going to be tough. I know he's a gritty guy. He about had me in the first round. Once I switched to Southpaw, he couldn't hang with me anymore.
As far as training goes, how did you specifically prepare for him?
Yeah, it was hard because I don't have a lot of Southpaw boxers back at home. But one of my really good mentors, Chris, he fought me Southpaw the whole fight. He's a bit shorter. He's got kind of a style like Girtz, so that was really like 90% of my sparring was with my teammate Chris.
How would you describe his style then?
Man, he's aggressive. Like, I don't think there's anyone else in this promotion that fights with that type of tenacity. Where he lacks in the boxing and the clean technique, and that's where I was able to capitalize.
You had a 5-inch reach advantage over him. How did that factor into the fight for you, do you think?
Oh, I mean, it was beautiful. The only thing he was trying to throw was big overhands and looping punches. I was able to stick him with my long punches, stay just out of his range.
You know, Brandon has a very strong grappling background. Did you work the clinch in preparation for this fight?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I grew up wrestling. I fought in MMA, I fought in UFC. My grappling is very good. I knew he was going to be strong in there. I wanted to bang with him a little bit in there, but I felt like every time he punched in, he was actually the one tying me up, so I didn't get the chance to.
So what was the game plan then?
Oh, just stay long, hit him, counter, move. Basically, all I did the second half of the fight.
Did he do anything during the fight that surprised you?
No, he fought exactly how I knew he would. Everybody that knows Girtz knows that's how he's going to fight. The only thing that was surprising was out of my right-handed stance, I wasn't able to find an entrance. Once I switched Southpaw, like I said, it was over.
This is your second BKFC victory. What have you learned from your past fight in BKFC that you were able to take away and utilize to win this tonight?
I didn't necessarily learn it in my last fight. What I learned was in my first fight. I applied it in my second fight, and now it's just rolling. What I learned is that bare knuckle, it's not just boxing, and it's not MMA either. There's this middle ground that until you do it, you don't understand. I've figured that out. I've started to apply that, and now I don't feel like anyone can stop me.
It's interesting you mention that because, you know, I ask fighters how they prepare when they're coming over from a different combat sports. How do you prepare for bare knuckle? And a lot of them tell me there really is no way to prepare. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I fight, I have some phenomenal boxers at my gym. I fight these boxers the way that I fight in here. It doesn't necessarily translate. Then I go with the MMA guys, and we're fighting in the little gloves. That doesn't quite translate either. It's this weird middle ground. I'm lucky enough to have two brothers that we're comfortable enough that we can we wrap our hands, wear headgear, kind of get some light tags, but it's really hard to prepare for this until you actually do it.
So your brothers are in combat sports as well?
Yeah. They're both retired now. One of them might make a comeback, but don't hold your breath.
Well, we got to talk about that. Come on now, share it with me. I want the exclusive.
My little brother Kellen, he's always been good. He played second at state in high school, had a phenomenal MMA career, and he's really my #1 training partner through everything. And I wouldn't be surprised if eventually we see him in here.
Wow, well, I want to see that too.
Yeah, me too.
Speaking of training partners, what do you think is your signature move and why is it?
Oh, I mean, it's different every fight. I really like my split on the jab. Couldn't do it in this fight because Southpaw orthodox. So in this fight, it was just staying long with my Southpaw jab. But yeah, I don't have necessarily a signature move. My style's going to adapt for each fighter.
All right, you got the nickname the Jump Man. What's the story behind that?
Well, Michael Jordan, of course, he's the most iconic athlete of all time. I'm trying to be iconic. In MMA, one of my favorite techniques, I had a nice flying knee. I would hit it in fights all the time, and my teammates would always post up, jump man, jump man, jump man, and it just stuck, and I roll with it.
I'm a big fan of the flying knee. That's a very tough move.
Oh, I love it. I mean, I'm 6'2". I fight short people.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm like short, too short. I should put the mic up here, maybe put on my high heels again. All right, your son turned 9 recently.
Yeah.
How much does that mean to you to have a son and be fighting for him?
Man, he is everything. If I never had him, I would have never got to the UFC. I would probably be lost somewhere. Once I had him, I buckled down. I realized what was important. I really stuck to my goals and started to try to accomplish things for more than just myself. And that's really why I am here today.
So touching. Does What do you tell him when you come home and you're kind of bloody? Does he get scared?
Yeah, so he just started fall break last week, and I had him for the first half of it before I flew out here. And I told him before I left, I was like, hey, Kale, when I come home, you know, I'm going to be probably cut up. And he's like, that's okay, Dad, as long as you win. I always show him the dude I'm fighting. I showed him Girtz, and he goes, ooh, don't touch him, he's hairy. No, I love the kid.
It's great advice. I think your son should be a quarter woman.
Yeah.
That's great advice. All right, now you've won multiple MMA titles. How important is a BKFC belt for you?
Man, the BKFC belt is everything. Since I transitioned from MMA to bare knuckle, I fell in love with this sport. I don't want to go back to MMA. I've had offers for other promotions, for MMA fights, for other promotions, and I didn't take them because this is what I want to do. Even if I got to sit on the sideline for a couple months to wait for the fight to happen, this is what I'm committed to. I love it.
So we're glad to hear that because we like having you here over in the squared circle.
Being here.
So you really feel like you found your home here?
Oh, of course, 100%.
Who do you want next, sir?
Anybody, 65, 75, it doesn't matter. I might even go up to 75. My last fight was at 75. I had a knockout. Those guys are slower. I like to eat and put on more weight, but yeah, either weight class is fine. Anybody's fine. I've never turned down a fight.
So speaking of going up or going down, the welterweight division, what are your thoughts on Austin Trout?
Austin Trout's one of the best in the company, like hands down. Some people get by with being a brawler. Some people get by, or some people come in as a boxer and it doesn't translate. Austin Trout found a way to make his boxing work in this sport. He's one of the best in the sport, in my opinion.
And you know, it isn't that easy, fans. You know, it's really hard to prepare for bare knuckle. We've seen boxers come over like Chop Chop Corley and Pali Malignaggi, and no disrespect to either of those boxers, but it's very hard to make the transition. It really is. How did you make it so seamless then? Because you've done very well.
I've always had an unorthodox style for boxing and for MMA. A lot of my training early on, I'm self-taught, so I think that type of rawness translates into the rawness of bare knuckle.
Any friends, family, or sponsors you'd like to thank, sir?
Yeah, I mean, just thanks to everybody at IBG back home, Corbin Sanders, Yorman Guerrero, my brothers, everybody that helped me through this fight. I love you all.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us tonight. I look forward to seeing you back in the squared circle. So for Bare Knuckle News, I'm Susan Cingari, and this is
Cameron VanCamp.
And remember, and I mean remember, Bare Knuckle fight fans, this is serious, Cameron. No one beats us to the punch.